a spacious
You
assembly.
can read quickly, there's no problem.
Okay. Having a spacious assembly. The teacher's assembly should be spacious enough to accommodate his audience. The Prophet ﷺ said the best assemblies are the most spacious. Abu Dawood related this hadith in his Sunan and at the Sunan in the beginning of the book of Etiquette, with rigorously authenticated chain of narrators from the narration of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah is pleased with him. The student's etiquette.
Do we say etiquette or do we say etiquette?
Etiquette.
Etiquette. Okay. So now, it's about you guys in this position now. So it's about you. So what is your etiquette? Now you know what I have to do when I'm teaching, not when I'm a student. I have to do this as well. So now listen carefully, but not with me, because I'm not a teacher. I'm just a khadim, right? But you're going to apply this when you sit with true scholars, true teachers. No? Yalla, bismillah.
All of the teachers' etiquette that we have mentioned and of itself are the students' etiquette is also.
Allahu Akbar.
The student's etiquette includes moreover avoiding any concerns that preoccupy him from achieving his objectives, except that which is unavoidable because of necessity. He should purify his heart from any impurity so that it is fit for receiving the Quran, memorizing it and profiting from it. It is rigorously authenticated that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, "In the body there is a morsel. When it is sound, the whole body is sound, and when it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. This morsel is the heart."
Yes,
the one who said the following has done well in saying, "The heart is made wholesome for knowledge, just as the earth is made wholesome for cultivation." The student should show humility towards his teacher and be well behaved with him, even if the teacher is younger than him, less famous or lower lineage, less righteous, and so on. He shows humility with regard to knowledge and attains it by means of his humility. Some have said in a verse, "Knowledge destroys the arrogant youth, like the torrent erodes high ground."
The torrent. Asim, you have it in Arabic, right?
Yes.
Okay, read it.
العلم حرب حرب للفتى المتعالي كالسيل حرب للمكان العالي.
Allahu Akbar. In Arabic it's different, isn't it? Yes, the Sayl al-Jarrar was one of the books of whom? From Imam Shawkani rahimahullah. Sayl al-Jarrar, book in fiqh. Yes, continue.
The student should be obedient to his teacher, consult him in his affairs and aspects, and accept his opinion. An ill person who is rational accepts the opinion of a practiced and sincere physician with religious knowledge. This is even more appropriate. Studying from the best. The student does not study except from someone whose competence is complete, his religiosity visible, has achieved ma'rifah, and is well known as a person.
Ma'rifah is deep knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how do you know whether one has deep knowledge of Allah Jalla wa ala? In two ways. One way is someone's behavior, and two is someone's words. But if the words are there without the behavior, there is no ma'rifah.
And is well known as a person free of deliberating problems. Muhammad ibn Sirin, Malik ibn Anas, and other righteous forebearers have said, "This knowledge is religion, so examine well he from who you take your religion."
This was more in reference to the people whom you take hadith from, but it can be used in general. But definitely when it is about transmitting the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No.
Respecting the teacher. The student must look to his teacher with the eye of respect, believe in his competence completely and his superiority over his contemporaries, since this makes it more likely that one will benefit from him. One scholar from the early generations would give something in charity whenever he went to his teacher and say, "Oh Allah, cover my teacher's fault for me and do not take the spiritual blessing of his knowledge away from me." Rabi'a, the companion of Al-Shafi, Allah have mercy on them both, said, "I did not venture to drink water while Al-Shafi was looking at me out of veneration for him." We relate that the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Talib, rahimahullah,
It's okay.
Radiallahu anhu said, the rights the teacher has over you include that you give greetings to people in general, but single him out with greetings to the exclusion of the rest.
Like when you come in and your teacher is there, you give a general salam to everybody, but a specific salam to your teacher. No? So that is one. Yes.
They include sitting in front of him, not pointing with your hand in his company, not winking your eye at someone, not citing a position contrary to his, not backbiting anyone when in his presence, and they include not conferring with someone sitting near you.
This is a big problem amongst people. Like, and as a teacher, this is very disturbing. Like when you see people talking to one another, unless it's necessary. Like for example, khayam sometimes, not always. Sometimes when they talk together, it's because they need to do something like the recording, or they need to set something up. But sometimes, and that's no longer about you guys, is you see that people talk to one another, and that's so impolite. And some of the teachers would just say, if you don't find my class interesting enough, then just leave my class. Done. Like you're there, the teacher is talking. For whom is he talking? For himself. Well, he's giving you what he already knows. So why, in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is he talking to you? So this is very impolite. And especially when it is done by students of knowledge. Now, students of knowledge should set an example. They should be the ones sitting in front. They should be the ones that always have their pen with them, that always have their notebook with them, that are the ones that writing. They are the ones that beautify themselves the most when they come to the class. They are the ones that don't talk ever, and so much more. So if they don't do it, then why would we be expecting it from others? So they are the first ones to do this. Is that clear? So that also they are known as the students of that scholar. Like in the time of Imam al-Razi, rahimahullah, yani the best of his students would be sitting the closest to him. That were the best of his students. And then the best of the students. And then the people, yani then the main public would be sitting there. And also when they had a question for Imam al-Razi, they would first go to the students. If they didn't know, they would go to the students, and if they didn't know, they would go to the sheikh. Because otherwise, if the sheikh needs to answer things that his students can answer, well, the sheikh is losing time. And if somebody comes about wudu, you can say, I don't ask that person or that person. Is that clear? So that the sheikh will be answering any other topics and other questions which are in need of more detail and which need to be elaborated more than these simple things. Is that clear? Okay. Continue.
Not grabbing his garment, not being insistent when he has reservations about something, and not being inharmonious, such you become fed up with accompanying him after a length of time.
Yeah, this is one of the problems. If you are too much in the sheikh's presence, you become used to him, and then you will only see his insaniya and not his mashayikha. You will see his human traits, which is normal, he's a human, but you will no longer see his position as a sheikh. And this is why a teacher should not play too much with the students, not laugh too much, not participate in everything they do, because otherwise they become too acquainted with the teacher, and then they won't benefit from him anymore. Is that clear? Also, not insist. You know, some mashaykh, they pick their words carefully. Like, sheikh, would you like to do this? Some would say, no, I really don't want to, I have no time. Others might say, it's quite difficult, I prefer not to. Okay, you don't prefer, but would you like to? So actually, you are almost forcing someone to say yes. Also, holding on to the clothes is very impolite. Like you say, sheikh, you know, people do that, right? Like someone can come up to you and say, sheikh, like that. So all of these things we don't do, right? But don't overdo it. Don't overdo your behavior towards a sheikh, unless it is like a very big sheikh who has lived for a very long time. You know, you are like this. This is the respect of the elder and of knowledge at the same time. But when you got someone who's about your age and he is a scholar or a talib al-ilm or a student of knowledge, then don't overdo it, because then it becomes almost fake. No, people don't like if you're a scholar, you don't like people to do like that. You don't like them to behave like that. Like as I said before, we need to revive the fact that the scholar is as much yani mukhatab, spoken to by the Sharia, as the students. Like why? And as I said before, I'm not a scholar, I'm a student of knowledge, right? Like sometimes I open the door for someone, that's out of brotherhood. Then someone shouldn't feel bad that I'm opening the door. I'm but a student of knowledge, I'm not a sheikh. So I open the door, go ahead. Why should we say, no sheikh, you go for I'm not a sheikh. Two, if I were to be, which wallahi I am not, then at least there's brotherhood. You open for me, I open for you. Like, sometimes I just I see, for example, I want to help. I see some cops here. After, when class is finished, I stop teaching, then I can say, oh, you know what, today I want to do that. Astaghfirullah, Shaykh, why are you doing this? You're not supposed to do this. Why not? Is Sharia not for me? Is gaining hasanat not for me? Is it only talking about the deen? So, and as I said, when you talk about real mashaykh, then I understand, but don't overdo it. Because you know what the problem is? If you are doing this on the outside, but then on the inside you have something against the shaykh, or you doubt about him, or you have some feelings, negative feelings, then stop pretending. Then just be real. So I believe that we need to go back to being real. A shaykh is as much mukhatab by the shara as are his students. Is that clear? So, and of course it all depends. I remember when Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, and he, subhanAllah, was then in his 60s or something, someone asked him like, Shaykh, he said, don't call me Shaykh, just call me Muhammad. He said, I can't, I need to call you Shaykh. He said, am I but a abd? Call me Muhammad, right? Like some people, they don't want to have the thing Shaykh in front of their name. Because when we die, there is not Shaykh. There is not Alim, there is not Allama, there is not Khatib, there is not Imam. لَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا فُرَادًا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. You came back to us as individuals, like we created you in the very first time. Khalas. Which doesn't mean like if I have a sheikh, I will respect him, I will open the door for him, I will carry his bag, I will prepare his shoes, but that's because he's a sheikh. You understand what I mean? So what I'm trying to say indirectly, and this counts for myself, I don't like it when people treat me as a sheikh. Wallahi, if you treat me as a brother, that's already sufficient amount of respect, because that means you won't gossip, you won't hurt my heart, you won't hurt my feelings, you will be on time, you will not break your promise, this is just being a brother. When you are a brother with me, then I am in a safe zone. But when it is a sheikh thing, that doesn't, very often the people who are the most, yeah sheikh, they are the ones that stab you in the back afterwards, in the back, boom. When they don't like you anymore, they don't like your opinion, all of a sudden they ruin you, they walk over you. So let us be brothers. So I'm saying this counts for me. Do with your other teachers what you want, and respect them. But if you respect me as your teacher, stop doing this. I don't like it. Is that clear? And don't call me sheikh. I mean this. Don't call me sheikh, because the lack of balance today between titles and that which a title should stand for is disastrous. We can't distinguish anymore between a qadi and a mufti and a sheikh and a talibul ilm and an imam and a khatib and a preacher. And all of a sudden, everybody who teaches is a sheikh. These titles, they are earned. They are not given. They are not given by the people, by the public. Public doesn't decide whether someone is faqih, whether someone is khatib, whether someone is imam. That are the scholars who do that. Is that clear? We don't choose. When a scholar says sheikh, done, sheikh. When a scholar says imam, imam. And this is what Imam Sa'id, or Sheikh Sa'id Foda, rahimahullah, al-mutakallim, al-usuli, al-mantiqi, hafidahullah, says in his explanation of Al-Aqidah al-Tahawiyah, when referring to the danger of giving titles to people who don't deserve that title. If you ask me myself, what are you? I say I'm a talib al-ilm. You have, if you say you have 3 levels in Tulab al-Ilm, 1, 2, 3, beginner, moderate, and advanced, well, I will be between beginner and moderate. That's where I am. And I'm not saying this to be humble or to, that people say, oh, mashallah, this is what he thinks of him. Oh, mashallah, now he's even a bigger scholar. No. This is what I truly am. Wallahi, that's what I am. Between a beginner and a moderate student of knowledge. That's where I am at. And I hope I can go to moderate, then to advanced, and one day, inshallah, become a scholar. But watch out who you give titles to. Is that clear? Okay? So this is with me, with other people, do this. If I open the door, let me open it for you. I want to take your drink, I want to pour water for you, you're my brother and I am yours. Just let me do, otherwise it will become, not nice for me. I can't even live my Islam then. Okay? Anyway, that were my frustrations. Okay, continue.